Appreciate you guys coming today. Obviously, it's great to be 1-0. It's been 3 years to get there, but opening the season 1-0 is great. It's a great feeling. Very happy for our players, happy for our staff, our fans, supporters that came out today. Love the student section. Really appreciate the students showing up today. We haven't started class yet. We had a great student section. They were into it, and they created an energy and enthusiasm in that stadium that we need every single Saturday. So really appreciate those guys. Great to get the victory, but as I told the team at halftime, it was a sloppy victory. Too many penalties, too many mistakes. The good thing is we played a lot of young players. I think Haas told me 15 freshmen or redshirt freshmen played today, and somewhere we're in critical positions. And they made some mistakes, but it was good to make those mistakes, get some game reps under their belt, and still come out with a victory. It'll help them in the long run. Injury-wise, you guys saw T1 Mason. You know, they're looking at him. I think he's got a fracture, and that'll be a long-term injury. Other than that, I think we're pretty good. There were some minor things that we just were using precaution on with guys like Bless and Trey Avery, who did not play today. Same thing. Nothing long-term that we know of right now, but if something changes, you know, like always, I'll tell you guys on Monday. With that, I'll go ahead and just open up for questions.
Initial impressions here, just how Art fared today from your.
You know what? I think Art did a really good job for a true freshman playing quarterback in his first game, and it's been a while since he's played in a game. And some of the things that we were concerned about, how's he going to handle contact? He did that. How is he going to handle negative plays? He did that. Now, not all the negative plays were his doing. You know, there were some things that other guys on offense needed to do and didn't. But overall, you know, I'm pleased with what Art did. He's got to get better, and he will get better after this game. But very pleased.
How impressed were you after that drive, after the interception, after the pick six on Art? He came back 4 or 5, about 30 yards, 2 first downs. How impressed were you that he recovered?
Well, that was the big unknown with Art. How is he going to respond to negative plays? Because he's very hard on himself. He's got a lot of pride. Takes a lot of pride in his performance, and he wants to be perfect. And we knew, true freshman playing in a game, his first game, he wasn't going to be perfect. But he responded well, you know, and he did it a couple times. And very pleased with that. And he'll learn from the film. He's probably not watching it now, to be honest with you. It's just the way he is. But he'll learn from it. He'll get better from it and move forward.
What seemed really impressive also was his willingness and ability to take a big hit. He did several times in the game.
Yeah.
Is that something you expected, were worried about?
Yeah, absolutely. We haven't had him in any live reps, and we were worried about how he would respond to contact. Now, we don't want our quarterback to get touched. We got to protect the quarterback better. But he did stand in the pocket with some pressure, delivered the football, and took some hits. And, you know, he needed that. We needed to see him do that. Didn't want him, obviously, to get hurt, but we needed to see him get hit a little bit, and he did that and responded well. Early in the game, he scrambled, went down, slid down, got hit in the head. Was a little bit worried about him, but he shook it off and didn't want to come out, kept going. So showed some toughness, definitely.
Coach, you know, obviously you got the win, but today you had 75 offensive plays. You've been playing against each other. What have you come out of that? I know you said you played stopping, but a lot of plays really maybe set a tone for some things in the future that you might look at from today's game.
Yeah, you know, offensively, with the stats in the second half, it looks like we ran the ball well, had good balance. I think over 200 yards passing, over 200 yards rushing. We'd love to have that balance each week. We're going to have to do a lot of things better, though. There were a lot of plays that we left out there, whether we had a busted protection, someone didn't run a route the right way. Typical first game issues with some young players that we've got to get cleaned up and get fixed. But I was pleased offensively with our ability to move the ball and stay balanced. And we'll watch the tape and see what else we have to clean up. Number one thing is the penalties. We had a touchdown taken off the board because of a pre-snap penalty, an alignment issue. You know, those are the types of things we can't do. We can't afford to do that against good teams that we're going to be playing down the road.
Chris, what did Jonathan Hillman show you, especially in short yardage situations?
You know, he runs the ball hard. He's a bigger back, and that's definitely where we want him to excel, is in a short yardage in goal line situations, and he was able to move the sticks, move the pile a little bit a couple times today. He runs the ball hard. I think with Blackshear, Hillman, and then you look at what Isaiah Pacheco did there at the end, you know, I really like, and then when Trey Snead also there, I really like our running back group. We've got speed, we've got power, we've got small, we got big, we got a little good combination of all of it, and they've got to push each other to keep getting better. We're going to rely on them to do a lot of things. You could see some of those guys all over the field, whether it's in the backfield or spread out. They were all over special teams. So it's a really good unit, and we're going to lean on them a lot.
I should say that a lot of mistakes on special teams, it seemed pretty widespread. Do you attribute that to the young players, or is that a major concern, I guess, you're going to take out of it?
It's the first game, and we told the team usually where a lot of first game mistakes come are in the special teams. When you watch, again, NFL, college football, that's usually the case. We were hoping that would not be the case. Some of them were just foolish penalties that will get cleaned up. You know, the running into the kicker should not have happened. We got a personal foul on hitting the punt snapper before you know, he got up and was able to run down the field. I think they said you got to have a second in between the time he snaps and starts to take off. And I don't know how you snap the ball and not take off without it being a second, but they said it was, so it was a penalty. So there are some things there that we can get cleaned up relatively easy that I'm not concerned about. There are some other things that we have to get cleaned up, and we got to put a lot of time and effort into it to get it done.
I think Avery Young did in placing Bless Austin?
I think Avery did a great job. You know, to go in as a true freshman and play corner, we put him back there to return punts. Took a big hit. You know, he signaled fair catch, caught the ball, took a big hit, and then the other one, he caught the ball late in the game. So he was all over the field as a true freshman. Absolutely loved the kid. I mean, you talk about just an A-plus individual. Man, he's got it all, and he's going to be a star here, and really fired up for him and what he did today in his first game.
Coach, can you talk about the defensive side of the ball, defensive line, gap discipline, linebackers, fill the lane? You know, it seemed like everybody was in place.
Yeah, you know, for the most part, defensively, I thought we played fairly clean. We had some penalties early in the game, especially on the first drive that extended some plays. I think we had a pass interference call. We had another defensive penalty, and we had a special teams penalty that kept the drive alive and gave them some cheap yards that we don't want. But I thought overall, especially in some critical situations when they were getting in a potential scoring position, you know, we bowed our neck and got some TFLs and made some plays that we needed to keep points off the board. So I'm really pleased with what we did. But again, I've got to evaluate the film to look at some things we've got to do better. Obviously, we need to get after the quarterback. I think we put some pressure on the quarterback today, but we need to put more on the quarterback. We got some takeaways today. We scored on defense. So there were a lot of things that I think we'll be pleased about, but still several areas that we're going to have to improve in, especially with our depth. We've got a bunch of young players that are backing guys up. We're just going to have to keep playing, keep working with them, keep bringing them along. Thankfully, a lot of those guys got opportunities today.
Are you happy with last year touching the ball 22 times, or would you like to see that number rise as we move forward?
You know, I think it's a great number, to be honest with you. We need to be able to spread the ball around. I think we've got several playmakers on the offensive side of the ball. Raheem is obviously a little bit different from a skill set than a lot of the guys that we have, but we've got to get the ball to our tight ends. I think you saw, you know, Davon Robinson catch a pass there late in the game and show a burst of explosion and some speed there. We've got to get him involved. Travis Vokalak, some of the other receivers. I think we spread it around more to receivers today than we probably did at any time all last year, you know, so I was pleased with that. But you know, 22 touches, you know, that's a good amount for one individual, especially playing running back and wide receiver like we had him doing today. But we've got to get the ball in more guys' hands too.
Trey Henry was on the sideline in street clothes. What's his status?
He was banged up. He could have went today if it was an emergency, but we wanted to save him.
Go back to the run game. You have Raheem back there. You have Jonathan to the senior transfer. How important is it to take the load off of a freshman quarterback and a true freshman quarterback in a way?
It's very important. You know, we've got to be able to run the football, and if we can do that successfully, we'll open up the pass game. I think you saw Art back there today make some really good throws. He wasn't perfect, but he made some really good throws, and if we can run the ball effectively, that's going to help the pass game a lot more, and that's definitely what we have to do until he really gets comfortable and feels good with where he's at. We're going to rely on those other guys a lot more. And that was really the conversation before the game started. It was about don't try to do too much. Don't try to force the ball. Put the ball in the playmakers' hands. Let other guys make plays. Don't go try to win the game for us. And I think he did a pretty good job of that. And again, we'll watch the tape and see you know, other areas that he has to improve on.
Chris, you mentioned the freshman. What gave you and your staff the confidence to call Eddie Lewis's number today?
What's that?
What gave you and your staff the confidence to call Eddie Lewis's number today?
Just what he's done in practice. You know, he's been here since January. He's been really consistent. He showed some real flash, of ability in practice. He's done a great job of learning his playbook. I mean, the kid's worked really hard, and I'm excited about his future here. To see him get out there today in his first football game and make some plays. He'll have a chance just to continue to improve, and hopefully, we're talking about him a lot here as we go down the rest of the season.
Did you guys change anything protection-wise? Maybe second quarter, it seemed like there was less shots on Art. Maybe you guys kept more tight ends in?
No, it's called fundamentals. That's it. Guys got to work their fundamentals and execute their assignments. There was no need to change anything. Calls are calls. We've got to execute them. We got to, know what we're doing in the calls, and we got to use the proper fundamentals with the right effort. And that's really what it comes down to. Every now and then there's just like anything, there's a strength and a weakness to every protection that you have. You want to minimize your weaknesses, but they get the perfect call on against the perfect protection. They're going to win. Unless we side adjust and Art gets rid of the ball. So there's a number of things. It's not just protection. It's the quarterback's ability to throw the ball hot, and the receivers or tight ends' ability to run the right route based on what they're seeing. So there's a lot to go into it, but it's more about fundamentals and technique.
How concerned are you with Cole's health? It looked like he was limping around there.
No, I'm not concerned. He was banged up in training camp, but here in the last few days, he's really taken a big jump forward. He's limping around because it was hot and he played a lot of plays, and he's 320 pounds. But he's going to be fine down the road. Kid is a senior. He's a captain. He's done an unbelievable job leading the offensive line and the offense and just his football team in general. And it was going to take a lot for him not to be out there today. We really had conversations about not doing it, but he was going to have nothing to do with that. He was going to go play. So really proud of him. I couldn't sit here and tell you honestly, how well he played or the mistakes that he made until we watched the film. But very proud of him to go out there and play the complete game like he did.
Thanks, Coach.
All right, guys. Thank you, guys. Take care.